How is it going, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying safe. I, for one, am drinking tea from a mug which explicitly states the word coffee. I know. But today's video is 7 months late. That's a new record for me, I think. But look, the best things in life are worth waiting for, like love and friendship and the pursuit of happiness, or frozen oven chips. I don't care what you say, Mum. They need at least 10 minutes longer than it says on the packet. I like them crunchy. How many times do I have to say? So today's review is for a film which I actually saw back at the London Film Festival last year. I didn't review it then, and then it came out in cinemas over here in the UK in March. I didn't review it then, but now, this week in fact, it just landed over here on digital. So, you know, while we're all stuck at home with an abundance of time on our hands, I figured the time is finally upon me to review it. Third time's a charm and all that. So that film is Calm with Horses. Don't really know why I just said it with such a carefree and happy tone. Not a particularly happy film, but you might not have heard about this one, which is exactly why I wanted to talk about it now. Because I feel like while I've seen a few people saying they've seen it, it seems to have slipped under quite a lot of people's radars, and that just...
It ain't gonna sit right with me.
So, Calm with Horses, it's directed by Nick Rowland. It's actually his first feature film as a director. It's essentially the story of this guy that kind of gets roped into this drug dealing family in Ireland, and so we follow him as he tries to navigate that world of crime whilst also trying to raise his autistic son with a girlfriend that their relationship isn't quite fruity tooty. God, I've got to stop making this film sound like it's for kids. It's not fruity tooty. It's very much not fruity tooty. If anything, it's killy willy. That's not any better, is it? But immediately for me, the first thing that really stood out when I watched this one back in October, Christ, was how confidently directed the entire thing feels from Rowland here, who, as I said, is his first film. This is his feature debut. But it feels like he knows exactly what he's doing behind the camera, and that shows throughout everything in this film. The whole thing's just got this really clear style to it that it establishes quite early on, and it does so effectively. And it isn't just like slap a gritty color palette over the top of this footage and we'll call it a crime film, like I feel it could have very easily fallen into. Everything from the kind of camera work to the writing to the performances, the cinematography, it all feels like it just works together and it's been thought through, which I know does sound a little bit like the world's most obvious point to raise for any film in the world. But in a genre that feels like it falls too easily to convention a lot of the time, it's just nice and refreshing to get that. And whilst we're on the subject of how this thing looks, I mean, it looks delicious. I don't really know what I expected going into this one, but pretty consistently I found myself thinking, damn, that is a tasty shot. I'd like to have a little bit more time with that shot, get to know it a bit, maybe take it out on a date. We'll come back to mine, which is where things are really going to start to hit. I think mainly what I appreciated about the look of this film is the way it photographs its location, which can feel like quite an easy thing to sort of draw onto in a film, but I feel like it's quite a different setting that I'm at least used to seeing in a lot of crime films, and I really appreciated that side of things as well there. There's this kind of gloominess but also beauty to the environment. So I feel like you've got this kind of merging of like aesthetically pleasing, sort of arty directing tendencies with this dark, rough grittiness that comes with the genre. And it's that duality that I think was a real surprise to me, and I really, really dug that. But it's that sense of surprise and kind of non-expectedness. I feel like I've just said the same word twice there. It's that subversion of expectations, saved it, Stu, that really stuck with me here and really made me think, oh, this feels different. Because at the start of the film, when it gets going, I'm definitely guilty of feeling like I kind of almost knew what I was expecting to get from this film, and I could almost guess how it was going to go. And in certain respects, the story doesn't really veer too far from that in terms of a kind of big plot points as they happen. But it did really surprise me in the depth that we ended up getting from these central characters in the film. I had that moment about halfway through where I suddenly became very hyper-aware that I genuinely cared about this central character. That's definitely down to the writing and also Rowland's direction, but it is almost definitely as well down to the fact that Cosmo Jarvis, who plays the lead here, is fucking brilliant. Firstly, can I have your name? Secondly, this guy is genuinely unreal here. I was blown away by his performance. Don't think I've seen him in anything else before this, but I cannot stress enough how surprised I was to see such a powerful and big performance from someone like that in this film. He's not even Irish either. Yes, I get the concept of actors doing accents, but sometimes it's just a real shock, you know? Coming out of that Calm with Horses press screening at the film festival last year and finding out Cosmo Jarvis isn't Irish, I needed a seat. But his performance is so good in that it nails being a very quiet performance, very understated, but also having this intenseness to it. There's always something kind of boiling away there under the surface, and it's that level of the performance which I just thought was stunningly done. The final act of this film, holy shit, is an acting powerhouse from Cosmo Jarvis, genuinely. It has one of the most affecting phone call scenes I've seen in a film since Ewan McGregor cried down the phone because he lost his son in The Impossible. I'm still not over that, but genuinely I cried like a baby for a lot of the end of this film. It's one of those films where you finish it and you just think to yourself, how the hell do we get here from where I thought this was going to be going within the first 5 minutes? I think ultimately I'm just impressed that a crime film like this was able to make me feel as much as it did. And I promise I didn't mean that to sound quite as condescending to the entire genre of crime as it did. I'm just pleasantly surprised by so much of this film. It's brilliantly shot, brilliantly performed, well written, confidently directed. And granted, the scheme of things, it's not really pushing the boat out too far on a lot of things, but it's the way that it approaches something that I feel like could have ended up being quite cliche and conventional that really makes it stand apart from the crowd. It feels like it's a really great character piece. It's just disguised as a crime thriller, but it does do that other stuff really fucking well. But it's just good character shit. Yes, please. Let me have that again. Overall, Calm with Horses is absolutely one of the biggest surprises from last year for me. And now that it's on digital over here in the UK, you can all enjoy it as well. I think it's like £3.50 or something on Amazon Prime at the moment, which is an absolute bargain. So I had to come on and recommend it, and I really, really hope that if you didn't know about this film, you at least consider checking it out, because it's a really, really strong watch. But what about you guys? Have you seen Calm with Horses? Did you like it as much as I did? Or did you think, nope, not my cup of tea? Don't know why I felt the need to grab a prop for that. Let me know whatever you thought about it in the comments down below. As usual, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see me talk about more shit, please consider clicking subscribe, hitting like, doing all of that stuff, because it's just fun to do, I guess. If you haven't already, suggest me questions on my Q&A video, link for that in the description down below. Until next time, I'm gonna go cry over some phone call scenes. You love them, you hate them, and it makes you feel like everything sucks.